We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, let me, since I haven't spoken on this, get a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the reparationist perspective, bringing you those Freedmen hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering. And this evening, family, how y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? It's been a really crazy week since winning lineage-based reparations, and I'm still exhausted from celebrating. What's up, Shauna Kim? I see you, fam. I'm still exhausted from celebrating and throwing chairs back at the former ADOS movement who's throwing chairs at me. I have just worn myself out. I'm not going to live in that negativity, but I had to set the record straight over in Racebook for folks who clearly just got here and don't know that I've been here since the beginning. But that's another story for another day. I'm going to be dragging Narc and Cobra's ass 40 going north on future upcoming broadcasts. But today I was listening to some of my favorite new Black media vloggers, and I am just feeling some kind of way about this recent puckery on how white folks now want to be concerned about Black women and the caliber of men we've got to marry or not. They want to act all concerned and encourage us to marry ZADDY, akin to KABAMMY and KETANJI, okay? It happens to rhyme, but y'all know that's my pet name for Kamala. It's KABAMMY, okay? Who never met a freedman, woman, or child that she didn't hate and despise and detest. And she's got the record to prove it. I'm not just blowing smoke. So my daughter is away, and I thought, well, let me just get on here real quick and share with my people how I feel about this New York Post article. Let me stop sharing this and share the other. Welcome to the live. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Know that I am being shadow banned. I want to shout out Brenda Renee for that amazing contribution to the broadcast. I'm so grateful to all of you. Demetrius Flag, all of you who give generously, no contribution too big or small. You know, this is, from what I understand, the new Black Media Appreciation Month is April. So I just want to let you guys know that there would be no me without you. Your support of my voice in this space means everything to me. And I'm just so grateful every time you guys decide to join me. It means the world to me. And it does help me to continue to edutain the masses and to advocate exclusively for freedmen reparations. So do know that you are appreciated. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I'm believing God to return your blessings to the broadcast a millionfold. Now, let's get into it, because I don't want to be on here long. When my daughter comes bouncing in here loud as ever, I want to have already gotten my work out of the way. So let's see here. Let me see. Hold on, family, because I had... Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, so let me see. Am I sharing the right one? Hold on. I had minimized one of the screens so that you could get the whole picture. And for some reason, okay, let me see. Let me go back to this one, and I'll read from the other one like usual. I'm going to be reading and making my comments, family. I'm going to be reading and making my comments. Shout out to the new Black Media. I'm trying to get this in my frame, and then I'll read from the other one and make my comments, because y'all got to understand what the ethno-genocidal plans for freed people. And I'm here to sound the alarm. Well, my word, I can't seem to get it. Okay, let's just leave it right there, y'all. Can y'all see that? Let me come over and check on y'all and make sure it's you can see it. Let me just make myself a little smaller. Okay, so you see the headline. Please feel free to comment in the chat. This is something I just threw together, y'all. I don't even know how many people are going to be able to catch it live. I didn't build this. I just built this show out, okay? Just to get off some things and just to stay in people's face about reparations in this fight. That's what the broadcast is intended for. It is intended to keep reparations alive, because the lamestream corporate with 3Ks and government-sponsored lamestream media is trying to dead these issues. They're trying to dead the current events that impact freedmen exclusively. Hi, Erie Blackfire. I see you, family. Thank you for joining the live. But yeah, they're trying to hide our issues and just treat us like a non-factor, because the goal is to ethno-genocide us, to extinct us to as few in numbers as the Indians, as you can see by the states getting busy with reparations, many of which have, you know, minimal Black folks. I mean, we've gone from like 17% here in California to around 3%. When you add Black immigrants, that's around 5%. So this broadcast has always been intended to build critical mass, especially surrounding some of our more important action items where we need everybody to be a part of the movement, okay? So I want to get into this article because I need for you to understand the grift. I need for you to understand all of these current events through a Freedman lens, so that you don't get tricked to continue to vote for your own people's peril, to continue to show up and vote blue no matter damn who, to your own people's peril. Because that's exactly what the Democrat Dixiecrats have in mind for you. And my Freedmen voter strategy has nothing to do with party. Both parties suck. Let me just say it, okay, from the chest. Both parties suck. But if y'all stay home and don't show up to these polls come midterm and Obama-style numbers, you're literally saying to the immigrants that it's okay for you guys to vote for the Dixiecrats to continue to give us your reparations and protections. If you vote third party, and if you don't come out to the polls to invoke my Freedmen voter strategy, that's basically what you're saying to the immigrants. That it's okay for you to decide that the ethno-genocidal plans of both parties to extinct us to as fewer numbers as the Indians is perfectly fine. They're happy to take our place because that is what is going down real time as I speak to you. So that's what this broadcast is about, okay? It's about educating you as to why. I'm giving you the why behind my Freedmen voter strategy. And this is just one of many injuries being leveled at our people, along with all the other agendas, abortion, LGBTQIAXYZ, okay? We are getting it from all sides, family. We have no friends. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We are all we got. Okay, so let me get into this article so you can see the title and see the descendant of slave owners kissing on the forehead of his descendant of slaves' wives' head, okay? So let's just talk about why this narrative in the New York Post is problematic. I'm going to be reading and commenting as I go. All right? All right. Uh-oh, let me see here. Okay, so there's that. Let me blow this one up, child. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, okay? Okay, two of the most powerful positions in the United States government will soon be held for the first time by Black women. Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson. First of all, let me stop right here. KABAMMY is not Black. She ain't Freedmen. This was the grift to get y'all sheep walking to the polls, at least 87% of y'all, to vote blue no matter damn who to our own people's peril. She is not a Black woman just because she's got brown skin. She has on her birth certificate that she is Caucasian, because I've constantly been teaching y'all that the color of white in this country is green, okay? This has become not just racist towards our Freedmen lineage, but we have become bottom caste. We've got a caste system going on over here. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. shared with you guys about the caste system when he visited over where KABAMMY family descends from. She's one generation. How many generations? We've been here for 400 years. She just got here. So they're already starting to lie. You notice how she's a chameleon. In one breath, she's Asian. In the next breath, she's Indian. That's when she's fighting for H-1B visas for her people, East Indian Brahmin caste. We're on the bottom of that food chain over in that country. To get over here, to get them set up with multiple six-figure-a-year jobs in tech. And then she's Black when it's time to ski-wee, chuck and pearl, and be on the campus of Howard announcing her run for presidency and all this kind of jazz. She's Black when it's convenient, as is everybody else, right? Everybody else is Black for convenience. They're Black when they want you to run them our reparations checks. They're Black when they want you to protect them from freedmen. Okay? Hello, Asians. Okay? So please get that them relating to her as Black is a bold-faced lie. She is East Indian Brahmin caste with a Jamaican father who admits that he descends from slave owners in Jamaica. Their skin is brown. That is it. Now, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I do believe, is freedman black. Okay, back to the text. Harris, as we all know, is the VP of the U.S., and Brown Jackson could soon become a Supreme Court justice. But Harris and Brown Jackson also share a personal attribute that is equally noteworthy. Me speaking. How in the world is being married to a descendant of chattel slave owners equally noteworthy? Each has a white husband. How in the world is that equal to the accomplishments of these two women? Like them or hate them, they're very accomplished. Each has a white husband. Now, do you know what that means to someone like me, the reparationist perspective? Each is going to give their intellectual properties and their intellect and their wealth. They're going to leave it to the white ZADDY and all of his white lineage. This caliber of black, well, Ketanji is black, Indian is Kamala, East Indian Brahmin caste. They're literally going to, when you marry into whiteness, when you marry into these other groups, you literally are making them wealthier. Which to me is why they're doing this article. You put your foot on the jugular of black men who at least, 25% hold degrees to our 36% from what this thing is telling me over here. They're not slouching, but what you do is you discriminate against them. You won't hire them. You're hiring whites and immigrants over them because their national median income in 2020 was $42,000 to black women's $38,000. Okay. But you're dealing with these two outliers, okay? These two unicorns. And we've got a few unicorns that share of the 3 trillion. Our unicorns, not even ours, mostly black immigrants, share in about 2.93 trillion household dollars as compared to the other 90% of us who share less than 700 billion since COVID. So when I see you sitting up here in this article talking about Harris and Brown Jackson sharing an equally noteworthy attribute that they're married to white husbands, the reparationist perspective sees another white wealth transfer. That's all I can see. Another white wealth transfer. After white folks have killed and stolen all of our wealth to the tune of sharing in hundreds of trillions of dollars. Our measly 3 probably ain't even 3 no more since COVID, since the pandemic. And so now, as if you haven't done enough to the black man who carries the seed of our lineage, you've given him the preschool to prison pipeline. You've given him the highest rates of unemployment, the highest rates of underemployment. You've given him, so you've crippled his ability, right? You crippled his ability to even be able to afford to marry black women. Okay. You put black women with white men in all your commercials. You put black men with white gay men in all of your commercials. So the white man stay winning off of black folks, no matter where you turn. While the black man continues to be reduced into nothingness, which we will not allow. But you've got a bigger platform than me. So you give the black man all of the oppression. You make it dip. You give us abortion. You give us the welfare. You give us preschool to prison pipeline. You give us the highest rates of unemployment, underemployment. You give us redlining into environmentally racist communities. You give us lack of home ownership, lack of lending for small businesses in our own communities. You literally castrate the black man and his ability to marry a black woman, and now the fix is in. Now, after all the rapes, after the chattel slavery, after we gone through all this together, the descendant of chattel slaves is supposed to now transfer all of her wealth into the pockets of the descendants of chattel slave owners. That's your solution. That's what's equally noteworthy as we continue to live our Holocaust. Back to the text. I can't see y'all right now because I'm over here on this article, but I'll be back to read your comments before I pray us out. This fact is significant. The effects of racism have left well-educated black women with a paucity of black male partners. According to Brookings Institute data, black men are less likely than black women to have completed high school and 50% less likely to have attained a 4-year college degree. Yeah, see, that's the problem when you don't disaggregate data. I don't know what percent of these black men and women are freed black or black immigrants when they're boasting these numbers. When they say black men hold 26%, hold on, let me go to it. I don't want to speculate about what I said about that. I got a couple of things open. Hold on. Okay, the disparity persists when we examine educational attainment by gender. Slightly more than half of white women have a college degree compared to 36.1% of black women. Okay, that's a 15 percentage point gap. But where about the black men versus white men? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find. Got so many windows open. I think I may have accidentally closed that one. Let me look at it real quick. What percent of U.S. black men are college degree? Let's see. Okay, black men have lower levels of degree attainment than white men in every state. On average, over a quarter of black men hold a college degree. So it's 26.7%. Okay. Oh, Lord. Hold on. I lost my data on the women. What percent of black women? Oh, U.S. black. See, okay. Yeah. So it's, let's say, 26.7% of black men and 36.1% of black women. But the problem with this is it's not disaggregated. I don't know, given these percentages, what percent is freed black versus black immigrant. I can almost bet your bottom dollar the 10% that share the 2.93 trillion are the higher percentages of educated blacks in this country. But they flatten blackness so that they don't ever have to see or admit or pay for the way they've legislated freed black to the bottom of this Titanic as the anchor of this country's capitalism. They have legislated us into the bottom caste. That's what you need to understand. When we pulled ourselves up by our bootless straps, we created about 50 Black Wall Streets that these glacier donkeys burned down and lynched us for, okay? So this is about legislation. This is about allowing Black immigrants to come into the country and do better than us. I'm going to be doing a broadcast about how empty CARICOM is, how Narcan and Cobra have been complicit in trying to tether these immigrants to our justice claim because they ain't got nothing coming with CARICOM. So now these Black immigrants who are far more degreed than us, remember these numbers have been flattened, want reparations. Because why? Capitalism requires a bottom caste. And they in the country, our government at every branch is complicit in making sure we never come up off the bottom because they don't want this L and they're next. Back to the text, okay? Yet, despite the shortage of suitable Black partners, Black women have also been the least likely of any minority group to marry outside of the race, according to data from the Pew Research Center. Rather, yes, me speaking, why in the world do we want to marry descendants of slave traders and descendants of slave owners? So they can up and one day call us ninja? Let's see. I got something I want to share. Let me see. How many Black women have been murdered by white husbands and boyfriends? Okay. See, this is the problem. They will not tell us. They're flattening all of it. I want to know white husbands and boyfriends. They're giving me everything but that. Let's look at this one, The Guardian. At least 4 Black women. Stop this. Oh, God, these pop-ups are slaying me. At least 4 Black women and girls were murdered per day in the U.S. last year. Yeah, but they're not breaking this article down to tell me who. They're not telling me how many white husbands and boyfriends are murdering Black women. But I've seen enough video, being reported on about Black women. Let me just put that in. Let me make it more general and see if something else will come up, family. Just bear with me. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And if you feel so compelled, bless the broadcast. My Cash App and PayPal are scrolling in the bar below, and it's also in the description bar. This is New Black Media Appreciation Month. I'd sure appreciate some appreciation. All right, family. Okay, how many Black women have been murdered? Hold on. By white men. Let me just make it more general. See if something else comes up, family. Okay. See? Let me see. Statista. Okay, hold on. They don't ever give you what you are Google searching for. They scrub this stuff and won't tell the truth. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so number of murder victims in the U.S. in 2020 by race, ethnicity, and gender. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. So this was in 2020. We'll just talk about the murder victims. That's still not what I'm looking for. Well, out of 17,754 total, 14,146 were male, 3,573 were female. So white women were 1,904, Black women were 1,440. And let's see here. White men were 5,123. Black men were 8,469. Okay, that's not really what I was looking for. Let me proceed. But I'm just saying that we have the least number of interracial marriage to white men because of the history here in this country. It's abominable. When they decided to stop importing us as slaves, I think we were around 72,000. They only stopped importing us because it was no longer cost effective. They couldn't turn as big a profit. Either 72,000 or 72,000, I think it was. I'm going to have to confirm those numbers in Sean B. Rochester's book, Presidential. All these facts and figures are just running through my head. But they stopped importing slaves because it was no longer profitable. And what they did was they set up breeding farms. And they raped us and passed us off to their friends and family to rape us. So that's why a lot of us don't look African black anymore. Okay? We were raped. And then they would put us with other black men and make us have sex with them and make us have babies for other black men whom we did not know, who were not our husbands. By the time we fought and won our emancipation, we were 4 million in this country. And so you don't grow to 40 million without having pulled yourself up by your bootless straps. These black immigrants kill me having wealth position when they come into this country because they descend from slave traders. At least most of the Africans do. Stop this nonsense. That's a whole nother video I'm going to bring you about the slave trades. You wouldn't have all of Africa trying to apologize and welcome us home if they hadn't traded us into slavery. Stop all these nonsense lies that we were kidnapped. They were trading slaves with Arabs before they started trading slaves with Europe. Stop this bull. They own slaves. These Africans own slaves and sold us into slavery and now got the unmitigated gall with the help of Narcan and Cobra to want reparations. So you get to descend from slave traders and be made whole with the reparations of freedmen and women and children. Ain't that about a blip? Woo, it makes me hot every time I think about it. Let me just stop. Okay, let me go back to the text because I wasn't even supposed to have y'all over here long. But y'all know God gets to talking and then I have to share it. So I'm just kind of on autopilot. I didn't do no real kind of work on this. I just, the topic just incensed me and the reparationist perspective just jumped on here at the last minute before my child come home to talk about it. Okay, I'm just speaking from the dome, speaking from lived experience, speaking from what I know right now. Okay. Back to the text, rather than partner with men of other races, many heterosexual black women either don't marry or marry black men with whom they are not especially well matched. And why aren't we well matched with them? What are you doing, white man, with your institutional systemic racism to try and put your boot on their necks, literally and figuratively? And these mismatched relationships contribute to African Americans having the highest divorce rate of any racial group. In fact, black women are the only demographic to have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. Okay, this is a problem I have with the corporate with 3 Ks, mainstream media. They never want to tell you how we got here. They never want to tell you the institutional systemic racism that is our Holocaust in this country. Our never-ending Holocaust is attributable to white men. They want to pretend, which is why they don't want true American with 3 Ks history taught in the schools for the time the kids are knee-high to a gatepost. They like to pretend that we are here because we refuse to pull ourselves up by our bootless straps. That's the only thing that will help them to sleep better. They don't want to see that in writing. They don't want that taught because now they've got to deal with it, you see. Yeah, we got higher divorce rates because most folks are divorcing due to money and sex. Yeah. When you rob the black man of a chance to, build business and take the cap off of his salary, it makes it difficult for him to be a candidate for marriage and children. So, and then, you promote him going out here and seeing beauty in everybody but his own woman and not understanding that the two of you together could really build an empire. They're not pushing that or stressing that at all. Okay? It's sad what we've allowed ourselves to become. A bit more than a decade ago, I published a book, Is Marriage for White People?, that examined the decline in marriage across American society, and especially among African Americans, and focused in particular on the predicament of Black women. The book, let me tell you something. The predicament of Black women is the predicament of Black men. Okay? Please. We are tied together. It's a predicament for Black women, Black men, and Black babies. Let's not even say Black because Black immigrants are made whole economically. I've shared with y'all at the top of one of them task force meetings about U.S. Black compared to Africans in 2016 per the Color of Wealth LA report. They had 152,000 total assets to our 30,000 total assets. They were 60,000 liquid to our 200 liquid. And their income was 115,000 to our 53.5. We were 44% degreed to their 58.9% degreed. So stop with this flat Black BS. Stop with these Africans migrating to America and now falling under flat Blackness as African American, and that's why I call us freedmen. Because ain't nobody blues like freedmen blues in this country that our ancestors built with their lives. That was 2016, 8 years ago. Now imagine how they've grown that money. You see, they've grown that shmoney as they sit up here in our task force meetings, fighting for more, fighting for our reparations because CARICOM ain't got nothing in it. That broadcast is coming. I got to do more to get that ready for you all. That takes a couple of hours to put that show together, okay? And I'm just on a little bit of fumes right now. So I'm just doing this because it's light and kind of easy. Okay, so yeah, you want to talk about this flat Blackness, but Black immigrants are, when you look at that same PDF, 2016 Color of Wealth LA, you'll see that they've got far higher percentages of marriages and children. They don't suffer proportionately like we do when it comes to, look, I did that in another task force meeting. When it comes to all of the things that ail us, I'm not going to run that down. Everything, we're on the bottom in every metric. That is not the plight of the Black immigrant in this country. They are far more wealthy and are able to marry. They're able to have families in this country. They're able to send money back home. They, like white folks, eat from the wealth our ancestors built with their lives. They built the U.S. economy with their lives. and you want to write books and talk about the predicament of black women. No, talk about the predicament of freed women. The book, back to the text, the book raises the possibility that black women like Harrison Brown Jackson would do well to open themselves to partnering with men who are not black. After all, black men appear to have no problem marrying out. Look at them. They're basically saying, since the black man has no problem dating all these others, why should you? Look at them setting the stage for you to step outside of your own men to build and to transfer wealth into whiteness. That same Pew report revealed they are twice as likely as black women to have a non-black spouse. But they still, proportionately, we ain't marrying outside our race like that. Black men, not freed men, and not freed women. It's still low overall. My book generated considerable controversy and exposed fissures within Black America. While younger people appeared more open to interracial relationships, a Black woman old enough to be my mother made a point of telling me that I was a disgrace to my race. Well, but the most significant fissure was between Black men and women. While some Black women were made uncomfortable by the book and the way it put them in the spotlight, many others embraced its message of empowerment. It's not empowering to abandon the Black lineage, the freed lineage, to go and lay with your descendant of slave traders and owners. That is not empowering. It is the ethno-genocide of freed with a D people. This is ethno-genocide. If freed men don't marry and make babies with freed women, what happens to the lineage? It eventually is extincted to as few in number as the Indians. And this is the grift. This is what they want to happen. And everybody's complicit. That was a message that not all Black men wanted to hear. At one of my book talks in Washington, D.C., I worried a fight would break out between a young Black woman who asserted her right to choose whatever type of man she wanted and an older Black man who condemned such sentiments as betraying the race. It is betrayal. That's how I feel about it. Look, that's how they feel about it too. You don't see all these groups. You don't see Asians and Indians and whites, even Hispanic, fooling with Blackness, fooling with freedmen like that. Because they see it as a betrayal to their race. I see it as a betrayal to the lineage. That's why I'm not for these agents of chaos in the screw tube spaces feeding the gender war. Instead of having broadcasts about how we can work through our post-traumatic slave syndrome and find ourselves back to each other the way we once were, seeing the beauty in each other, creating beautiful freed babies, instead of giving 20 million plus back to God vis-a-vis abortion. They've got free people hating themselves while wanting to be us. And now encouraging the Black woman to look to her oppressor to transfer whatever intellectual assets and wealth that she comes with through her education. Go ahead and give it to the white folks. This is about, oh my God. Other critics, including some Black women, contend that white racism precluded Black women from finding non-Black partners And this convinced many Black women that they cannot or should not partner with a non-Black man, even if the alternative was remaining unpartnered or in a bad relationship. As a result, many Black women feel that they should marry down before they marry out. Woo-wee. Oh. I explain in the book why Black women should not be pressured to sacrifice their own chances for happiness out of some misplaced loyalty to Black men. Wow. Is this what it's become? Is this what it's become? We have millions of Black men and millions of Black women, and you're literally saying that we can't find each other without it ending up in divorce. You're literally sitting up here reducing the Black man who carries the seed to our entire lineage to nothing. This is the gender wars that I'm talking about that far too many ScrewTube vloggers participate in. Wow. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. We have a misplaced loyalty. Every other woman can be loyal to her man, be loyal to her children, but you're trying to convince Black women to be disloyal to the Black man who carries the seed to the entire lineage. Do you see the ethno-genocide happening with the help of our own people? Nor should Black women feel beholden to Black men under the guise of advancing the race. Woo! Oh my God. That bears repeating. Nor should Black women feel beholden to Black men under the guise of advancing the race. Every other woman partners with her man to advance their race. But we are told to not be beholden to our men in order to advance the race, in order to advance the lineage. This is the whole reason I'm seeking HBCUs for my daughter, to put her in the company of Black men that are getting educated. So she's not supposed to be beholden to that idea in order to advance the lineage. This is insulting. Back to the text. If the price of racial solidarity is a bad, intimate relationship, then the cost is too high. Why does it have to necessitate that it will be bad? Why is a Black man, a freedman married to a freed woman, reduced to being a bad, intimate relationship? You mean to tell me white men and white women don't have bad marriages? Asian men and Asian women don't have bad marriages? Hispanic men and Hispanic women don't have bad marriages? Indian men and Indian women don't have bad marriages? But you're going to lump all freed marriages into being a bad, intimate relationship. Oh my God. Black women should not be held hostage to the struggles of Black men. Oh my God. Oh. He doesn't go on to say why the Black man struggles. He don't seem to be fighting for reparations. He's going to tell us that we're hostages to the struggles of black men as if we're not struggling right alongside them, as if it's not a struggle when you're a single black woman. Raising children is not a struggle without our black men. We're hostage to the black man's struggles. So he's not supposed to take his 42K and our 38K to come together and make, grow that. We're not supposed to be doing that. That's not what you're promoting. You're promoting that black women take their 38 median national income and give it to white zaddy, knowing that Ketanji is an outlier. If the median is 38, Ketanji is a unicorn. That's not most educated black women. Not with a median national income of 38 in 2020. Let me look at that real quick. Hold on, y'all. Okay. What is the average salary of a black man in America 2020? They made a median annual salary of $42,120, which is only 73.1% of what white men earned at $57,616. The difference for women was a bit less. Black women's median annual earnings were 85% of white women's median annual earnings. So that was $38,584 to white women's $45,396. So we're not supposed to be able to take that and make something of it, family? Woo-wee. This article has got me tight. Oh my God. The struggles of black men is due to the Biden administration opening the floodgates to immigration and giving them our reparations and our protections while not putting it into qualified immunity. I'm going to do that broadcast this week. There's my roster. I have to go back through here and remember what I told y'all I'll bring to you. This is unconscionable. And I do believe this fool is a black man doing this bullshiggity for white folks in the New York Post. True, race, back to the text. Nobody wants to talk about how the black man has been legislated into this position. We don't have income equality, can barely get hired in the public nor private sectors because the Biden administration is giving away the country to immigrants. He's bringing in 100,000 Ukrainians. Now what you're about to experience is the whitening of the browning of America, since white folks are mad that the country has become so brown. That's why his poll numbers are in the toilet. This is unfreaking believable. I can't believe they published this bull and don't want to deal with the real serious issues of how our black men and women and children are made to struggle by our government at every branch. Back to the text. True, race can provide a basis of compatibility, but race itself cannot solely sustain a relationship. This is unreal. And there are many bases of compatibility other than race. Black women's increased rate of interracial marriage from a mere 3% in 1980 to 12% in 2017, according to the Pew Research Center. Wow. Also reflects their increasing autonomy to choose partners that best serve them. They should not have to apologize or feel guilty for doing so. Wow. Yep. They're looking here now at director. Let me show y'all that picture. Hold on. This is unbelievable. Let me see if y'all can see that. Hold on, y'all. That's KABAMMY and her Jewish banker. I think he's Jewish. You know, Jews own slave too, okay? So it's not, beyond him to descend from slave owners. This one here. Good Lord. Let me shrink it some, y'all. Hold on. This is unreal. This is actor Jodie Turner-Smith and her husband, the affair star Joshua Jackson. Turner-Smith has written on social media about the backlash she experienced for marrying outside her race. Wow. And this is the one I was referring to. This is George Lucas. Director George Lucas and his wife, the investor Melody Hobson, another high-profile Black woman who chose to marry outside of her race. All of this goes back into whiteness. All of it goes back into whiteness. Let me finish this article. Ooh. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, y'all. There has been little discussion in the media or culture about the white partners of prominent Black women like Harris or Brown Jackson, and I hope this reflects the increasing social acceptance of such unions. If so, then Black women will be able to enjoy the relationship freedom they deserve. Wow. Ralph Richard Banks is the Jackson Eli Reynolds Professor of Law at Stanford Law School and co-founder and faculty director of the Stanford Center for Racial Justice. Let me come over here and see what y'all got to say. I'm just mortified at this article. It's got me tight. Oh, let's see here. I see you, Easy Axe. DJ Segwan. Peace, ADOS, New Jersey up. Sick of these people. Yes, fam. Hi, Ivy Dreams. GOJ, salute, fam. Ivy Dreams says, I work in the field of social work. Most Black women are killed by Black men because Black women rarely date outside their race. Yeah, that's I can see how, proportionately that would be the case. But I have seen, as of late, I don't really put my headspace into a lot of the videos that show these Black women who have been dating online and various things, turning up dead. So, yes, I think both things can be true. I just think that, a lot of these white men that are killing Black women are getting away with murder, especially when I've seen instances where they've met them online and the girls turn up dead. I think those numbers, although not comparable to the Black men killing Black women, I do believe that it's happening more often than not, and they're underreporting those numbers because they're flat out lying that the white man had any involvement. I remember one article in particular about this young girl. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. About this young girl who, hold on one second. Let me hide that. She was she met this white man online and turned up dead, and her family said that the way in which she died was some type of drug overdose. Hold on. White man met black lady. She ended up dead. Hold on. I'm going to bring that up. Okay, let me see. I think her name was Lauren Smith Fields. She was 23 years old. She was found dead after her date. Hold on, y'all. Oh God, I'm sick of this. What is this sound? Every time. Hold on, y'all. I can't ever open up nothing without. Okay, let's try this one. Connecticut police open investigation into black woman's death. She was 23, found in her apartment last month after a date with a man she met on the dating app Bumble. Okay. Police in Connecticut have opened an investigation into the death of a black woman who was found dead last month in her Bridgeport apartment after a date with a man she had met on a dating app. The woman, Lauren Smith Fields, 23, was found after a man she had met on Bumble called 911 on December 12 to report that he had woken up to find her unresponsive with a nosebleed. An attorney for Smithfield's family, Darnell Crossland, filed a notice of claim Friday notifying the city of his intent to sue over what he described as the police department's racially insensitive handling of the case. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why I believe the numbers of white men murdering black women is understated and underreported. They're not handling it the same. This man was allowed to go home. Let's keep reading. In his notice of claim, Crossland said Bridgeport failed to investigate and did not recover critical evidence from the apartment, including a blood-stained bedsheet, a pill, and a used condom, until 2 weeks after Smithfield's death at the urging of her family. They literally let this white man go. Let me get back to the text. Okay. Bridgeport police have not responded to multiple requests for comment about these claims. The family also said that police told them the man she met online, who was 37 and white, was not a person of interest, but did not explain why, and that the initial detective assigned to the case told them to stop calling to inquire about the status of the investigation. Her family said police never notified them of her death and that they learned about it from her landlord. Mayor Joseph Ganim said Monday that sensitivity and care is of utmost importance when working with the family of a victim, and the handling of the case has been referred to the police department's Office of Internal Affairs for an investigation. Now, if this family had not put pressure on, there would be no investigation had this thing not gone viral, okay? He said he would work with the police chief to make changes to department practices regarding notifying family members of a death. The office of the chief, look at all what had to happen. Let me show y'all. Look at all what had to happen to get these Mickey Fickies to open up this investigation. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to share the other. They're not reporting when white men murder us. That's why the numbers are off. To my point. Okay. Hold on. Let me make me small. Oh, shoot. So y'all can see. Look at all what had to happen to get these Mickey Fickies to investigate this beautiful woman's death. I believe she was murdered by this man. Hold on. I'm going to keep that going so I can read it in another side. This young lady was so beautiful. Okay, just gorgeous. So you see the protests. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner said Monday that Smithfield's death was accidental, resulting from acute intoxication due to the combined effects of what? Fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxyzine, and alcohol. Now, this girl, from my understanding, was not into drugs or alcohol and had just seen her brother prior to having this date. Okay? And she was coherent and just fine. In a statement Tuesday, Bridgeport police said that as a result of the medical examiner's report, the police narcotics and vice division had opened an investigation. Now, if it was true of Michael Williams, the star of The Wire, to have taken drugs that were laced with fentanyl by the Mexican cartel, that old Biden leaves the borders open for them to occupy our country, can it also be true that this Mickey Thicky Glacier donkey drugged this woman to her death in her own home, and she was discovered by the landlord while he gets to walk away, no questions asked? Yeah, but they want to call all of that shit that she either had injected in her, you want to call that accidental. She accidentally, a woman who don't do drugs, accidentally kills herself with this cocktail. Oh my God. They will be assisted by the Drug Enforcement Administration, the statement said. Hold on, y'all. I want to show this. Let me show this. Hold on.
Of oil, and clearly that only had a very limited impact on the price of gas.
I'm trying to make this thing
right now,
bigger.
Americans are paying 60 cents more per gallon right now than they did just a month.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I wanted to show that report.
They said that they were told by one of the initial detectives handling the case to stop calling to inquire about the status of the investigation. They said the police didn't do a thorough investigation of the apartment and that there were a number of suspicious items, including a used condom, a mysterious white pill, and a bloody sheet that they found and then made police go back to collect. And they said that if they believe that if Lauren had
y'all got to see this beautiful girl.
They don't think that the response would have been the same. They think that they would have been shown more dignity.
Lauren Smith Fields. Hold on. I'm going, because I can't blow it up. Let me go to the tape on ScrewTube. Lauren Smith Fields, MSNBC. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you for joining the live. Lauren Smith Fields, MSNBC. Hold on. I'm going to share this with you. Hold on, y'all.
We have an update to a story that we told you about yesterday.
Okay, just a second. Let me stop sharing and share this video. Hold on. Hold on, y'all.
A young woman in Bridgeport, Connecticut, who died last month under very suspicious circumstances. Lauren Smith Fields was found in her apartment by the man she had had a date with the night before. Her family accuses police of mishandling this investigation. Newly released autopsy results conclude that her death was, quote, an accident. Elise Preston is here with more on the story. You're back again from yesterday, Elise. It's very troubling. The more we hear, the worse it seems to get.
It's very concerning. Good morning, Gail. Preliminary results from the state paint the first real picture of how Smithfields died. The medical examiner found Smithfields died of acute intoxication from a combination of drugs and alcohol. The results showed fentanyl in her system, along with 2 other drugs. The autopsy says the combination of those substances with alcohol led to what it calls an accidental death. In a video statement last night, the family attorney said they believe there was foul play.
Someone introduced those drugs to her system, and it wasn't her. And we want answers right now.
Now, the attorney did not explain how the family knows she did not take the drugs herself. The man hasn't been charged and is not considered a suspect, so we are not naming him. According to the police incident report, Smithfields' date told police the 2 spent the night drinking, eating, and watching a movie. At one point, he said she went outside to meet someone and later fell ill, but the 2 continued drinking. Smithfields allegedly fell asleep, and hours later, around 6:30 in the morning, the date says he woke up next to Smithfields, not breathing, and called 911. The full autopsy results will not be made public, but the family can request it. Smithfields' family is also still waiting on its own private autopsy results, which are expected within the month.
This is so troubling, Elise, because listen, the autopsy doesn't show how the drugs got into her system. So we still don't know that. And we are just to believe what the man says. The man who, by the way, has not been identified publicly.
Right.
He could say anything.
He could say anything. We have not identified him. We have tried to reach out and make contact. We have not been able to do so. But the family has been questioning from the very beginning, has she been drugged? They say they found an unidentified pill in the home. They said they sent that, or they had police take it for processing. We called the state lab. They don't have anything in their possession related to Smithfields' death.
And we're not identifying him because he's not been charged?
He has not been charged. He is not a person of interest, according to police.
I think just how the family responded to how the police didn't really listen to their calls for concern is also disturbing. Elise, thank you.
Try this bizarre 6-second method
that's
tonight
what I'm
to
talking
reverse
about,
type 2
family. To my point, we don't know how many white men are murdering black women. Of course, we're going to have the data of black men murdering black women, but they're not going to tell us the truth because a lot of these white men murdering black women are getting away with murder. Ivy says in the U.S., most people date and marry within their race. True. Come again. It feels like our own men hate. I don't know. It feels like our own men hate. I don't know what that. It looks like that cut off. I can't make a comment. I don't know where you're going with that. Come again. Ivy Dream says a lot of breeding. Yes, we endured a lot of breeding, a lot of rape, family. That is what we are byproducts of. You know, my daughter often teases me about my nose, and I know how this nose came to be. I don't know anybody in my line that married outside the race. So I know that this is a byproduct of rape of my ancestors, my coloring and my nose, okay? Ivy Dream says, Africans sold us to Arabs and whites. African Americans told me to my face. Yes, family. Let me put that up here, sweetheart. Yes, Africans definitely sold us. It's everywhere. I mean, the lies are just too much. They're constantly trying to say that we were stolen. I keep hearing people, even in the new black media, ignorantly say that we were stolen. And that's their lie, and they're sticking to it. So I constantly make it a point, especially when I'm giving public comment, to tell the truth about how we got here. We were sold. Africans owned us, and they sold us to Arabs and whites. This was a slave trade. Okay? And I'm bringing you that segment because from what I've come to understand, White folks couldn't even last up to a year in Central Africa. Okay, I'm going to bring you the whole thing and just make sure everything is lined up. But yeah, they came and bought their goods and left. Okay, so anyway, Dr. Greg Carr is public enemy number one to our reparations claims. Yes, Jay Boggs. Is that Boggs or Bags? I'm going to put these readers on. Yes, J Bags, Dr. Greg Carr, and Narcan and Cobra. I'm going to be ripping their asses from one end to the next, spilling a lot of tea about how $1 million was given to the Bunch Center. Dr. Cheryl Grills was in charge of that, and no money has been spent on marketing. Where did the money go? I'm going to be bringing you some hot tea, some piping hot tea about the shenanigans and the nefariousness of Dr. Cheryl Grills, who sits on the NARC board, and why the Bunch Center, whom she's colluding with, okay, this is who's been in charge of this $1 million that was supposed to be given to the anchor orgs. This was budgeted and allocated for anchor orgs to grow our numbers in terms of the people here in California to learn about the reparations. And we have yet to see how that money has been spent. There needs to be some audits, and some folks need to be recused up off this task force, especially the ones who are over here still caping for race-based reparations, despite the vote that has come down that it will be based on lineage. These folks are saboteurs, and it's all because CARICOM ain't got no teeth, y'all. And now Narcan and Cobra have put the no-teeth CARICOM into the HR 40 federal bill, which gives them about $20 million to study us with no cash. You see, they want to, of course, give all of that to all the blacks because they don't want to see us get cash. And that's why that empty-ass HR 40 bill, which is based on CARICOM, has 197 signatures. Yeah, I'm bringing you that. So yeah, Carr, Narc, and then Cobra. Well, to tell you the truth, Carr did say, after trying to sell it to all blacks, he did finally at the task force meeting say he agrees it should be lineage-based. As a matter of fact, Dr. Grills and Holder were trying to make it seem like we did a Jedi mind trick because all of the witnesses they brought on to refute lineage-based reparations, who were caping in their entire delivery for race-based reparations, every last one of them in the end said it should be lineage-based. And when Chair Moore brought this to their attention, they tried to make it out to be like we drugged them to say it. Ooh! The tricks and the nefariousness going on in them task force meetings was team too much. Only 20% of Black women are married. That's tragic. That's tragic. Wow, I didn't know it was that low. I didn't know it was that low. KKK colonizers conquering kingdoms, DJ Segwan says. Ivy says, we should have never been sold to Arabs and whites in the first place. West Africans owe us reparations also. Yes, they do. I was listening to a Screw 2 vlogger who cakes for whiteness, and he sits up here and wants us to take up these issues with African Black. As if we didn't build the U.S. economy. He's pretending as a Black man, right? He's a freedman. He descends from U.S. chattel slavery, but he's got a Black conservative channel where he's talking to white folks about our issue needs to be, for reparations, need to be taken up with Africa. Oh, the agents of chaos is real, y'all. Yes, we need to go after Africa, but the U.S., these white glacier donkeys in this country and the immigrants eat from the wealth that our ancestors built the U.S. economy with their lives. So they are first. We absolutely, Ivy, you're right. We have to go after everybody else. But first is home, where the predominance of us live. Okay? We've been neutralized economically. We don't have the wherewithal to fight Africa until we get the reparations. Then we can work on Africa and Europe. Freedmen have never been pure blood. Well, I think you have a point there. Since we don't get married, but we have babies, we find each other. Yeah, we have babies, but sis, we need our black men in the house. We need marriage. We need to model marriage to our children like we once did. I grew up with both parents in the household, okay? So, it was my stepdad, as a matter of fact. My biological dad, no, but my stepdad, I did grow up. And, I understand, how to be treated through my father's example. Now, he had his share of stuff with him, child. I'm not trying to say that my mama's life was a crystal stair, but he was there for us as children. So we got to experience what it was like growing up in a two-parent household. And us raising our children single-handedly is not the look. And we've been made into this. Lots of weapons are forming and, sadly prospering when it comes to keeping marriage away from us. But we need our black men, and our black men need their freed women. That's just how that has to go. Okay. Robert Reed says, I was wondering when the reparations movement was going to bump its head up against this issue. There will be a whole bunch of uncomfortable conversations spinning out of this. Yeah, fam. Well, I think that we mitigate a lot of this when we make it lineage based, you see. There's going to be other qualifiers, like, you can't sit up here and have one drop of black blood in you, and then you've been living a white existence and claiming to be white on the census and the whole 9 yards, and be able to have access to whiteness in this country and now want to be black to get a check. So I think that making our reparations fight out here in California lineage-based has at least steered us in the right direction. If we allowed NARC and COBRA to prevail, then everybody would be owed the reparations. If you base it on race, everybody will try and have a claim. And so, yeah, you're right, Mr. Reed. Thank you for joining the live. It's going to be tough. But, we've been reduced to about 2 million blacks out here. And to my knowledge, they're not seeking to make the others that they've legislated out of California whole. I'm prayerful that will change in the final analysis, because you should definitely be repaired if you were legislated out of the state of California, which the majority of us were. We don't leave because we choose to. We leave because we can't afford to be here and be discriminated against in the public and private sectors. So prayerfully, they'll get something out of the deal. We all in this together from the bottom to the top, says NYA Shad. Well, freedmen are all in this together, but not so much with the black immigrants, the immigrants by and large, and white folks. All we got is each other. Easy Axe, welcome to the live, my love. They would never write an article saying white women should marry more Asian, black, Latino men. You got it right, Easy Axe. This is the part of the ethno-genocide of freed people. They're really trying to kill our race off because we refuse to be expatriated after fighting and winning our civil rights. Fighting and winning our emancipation. Okay. We refuse to leave after building the U.S. economy. And so you're going to see a lot of these weapons of mass destruction leveled at freedmen to extinct us to as few in numbers as the Indians. That's been my fear. They reduced us from 17 to 3% out here in the state of California. Now they're talking about reparations. And now I'm going to be doing a broadcast with ETM Media, who's responsible for my intro and outro and also streams live the task force meetings. I'm going live with them on Sunday to talk about Reggie Freedman, Reggie Jones Sawyer, who is literally trying to get a bill through to actually extend the study through 2024. And my question is, how many more of us will be legislated out of the state of California before seeing a dime from this study? And I feel the same way about us at large in this country. How many of us will be extincted? How few in number will we be extincted to before this country gets serious about giving us federal repair? Because I see a pattern here. Every place it's being done, we are few in number. That is considered middle class, that average. The median income, is that what you're referring to, Easy Axe? That median national income is not middle class, not ours. You can't even qualify for a home loan. If the median home price is $400,000, how is $40,000 a year make you qualify for a home loan? You need about $100,000. Okay, I was earning $120,000 when I purchased my property for $300,000 here in California. Okay, so that ain't middle class, darling. It may be considered middle class, but it's not. If you can't afford to buy a home off your salary, it ain't middle class. That's poverty to me. Easy Axe says, Robert Reed, don't you think they already do that by the interracial relationships on TV? Oh, yes. It's constant. It's either gay black men with gay white men, or gay black men with gay black men, or black women with white men. They aren't showing whole nucleus families like Good Times, like the Jeffersons, like what's the one with Cosby? Lord, I can't recall. Why can't the name of that show come to me? You don't see healthy black love relations. Nope, and more nope. They're not doing that. It has to be gay, or it has to be with the glacier donkeys. So he says, I don't own nor watch TV in years. The pushback will be married for love, not color. Well, I don't know how you can love a glacier donkey. I don't know how you can love someone that descends from slave traders and slave owners, chattel slave owners. I don't know how that works. Ivy says Lucas is a billionaire. I would have maybe rolled with that myself to get that money for my family. Well, I know that lots of I don't know. I can't do it. I have no desire to do that ever. To me, it feels like betrayal of my race, and I can never sell the race out that way. Shanna says, most people are killed by their own due to their community environments. That's true. If you're looking at it at large, I'm just saying, Shanna, I believe that the numbers of white men that murder black women of interest is understated. Some of our men are literally attacking us. Some of us need to divest, sadly. Come again. Hold on, y'all. That's my daughter. Hold on. Hello?
I'm sorry, I locked out.
Okay. That ain't my child. Lord have mercy. If they don't stop bothering me. Come again. This is tough. I mean, no lies detected. Some of our men are literally attacking us. Some of us need to divest, sadly. I don't know about the divest part. I don't say stay. No. I don't believe that women should stay in emotionally or physically abusive relationships. But what I do know is that I feel that vloggers in the new Black media could do more to bridge the divide between us, do more to encourage our brothers, to seek therapy and to develop themselves, do more to educate our Black men about going into business, teaching financial literacy, things that will give them more confidence and definitely more Skrilla so that they can feel worthy of marriage to Black women and to keep the lineage going. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe the grass is greener by divesting. Not with the kind of level of racism we've got in this country. And like I said, I believe that the numbers of white men accosting Black women in relationships is grossly understated. Because just like in the video I shared, they get a pass. This man has not even been brought up on charges and was the last person with this woman alive. When she went out to that car, her brother was outside. And he says there was nothing wrong with her. Nothing wrong with her. So I think what's sad is that we believe divesting is better for us when we have no clue the real numbers of us suffering at the hands of these other groups of men. They're going to get away killing freed women because they get away killing white women. Yes, they do. You're right, family. Online dating can be dangerous. Online dating can be dangerous, but I know of people who have managed to find love and marriage. So I think you have to do it in a very smart way. But it's worked for some of our people. The women I know are freed women, and they have found freed men online and have gone on to marry them. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you should ever go to a room with a strange man. Don't do this. You shouldn't be bringing people to your home. You've got to know them exceptionally well, run their driver license, run their background before ever taking things to the next level. Dating is for data, not to be inviting folks to your house. Wow, please don't let these strange men come to your home. Exactly, Ivy. Shanna says, also, she was posting about white men were better than Black men on social media. And then she gets with this dude and let all of her guard down. This is the problem, family. And I'm sure a lot of that stemmed from the fact that Black men ignored her, the beauty that she was, because of her dark skin, the colorist our men tend to be. It's tragic. She was gorgeous. And so oftentimes people do this as a way to deflect from the pain they're feeling from being rejected by their own men. It's a vicious cycle. And so that's to my point, earlier with my love who shared about divesting. The grass is not greener, ladies. We still need to vet these men extremely closely. Okay? You cannot just think that not dating black men or not marrying black men keeps you safe. The woman is dead, and I know far too many stories like that circulating in the screw tube spaces. I'm not giving black men who abuse and murder us a pass. I'm saying we've got to scrutinize everyone, but to suggest that we divest is to suggest that the grass is greener, and it's not. Those numbers are underreported by design, just like how many missing black women there are. Girls and boys. These numbers are understated because black lives don't matter in this godforsaken country that our ancestors built with their lives. That's a lie. You go to Africa, they will tell you to your face they sold us. Exactly, Ivy. It's unfreaking believable to hear people in the new black media talking about being stolen from Africa. It was a whole slave trade. I'll bring that up soon this week. Africa and Africans been selling black people for thousands of years, even before this. That's right, transatlantic slave trade. We were sold to Arabs. And they're still selling their people, says Come Again. Okay, sorry for the previously incoherent message. Freedmen lineage matters. Honey, that is it, and that is all. Angela, I just heard today that there are at least, at minimum, 100,000 Cameroonian refugees waiting for entrance into the U.S. They are demanding to be treated like the Ukrainians. Good luck with that. It's not going to happen. You saw what they did to the Haitians. And the way the black immigrants in this country treat or mistreat freedmen, I don't give a damn about them wanting to get over here. I don't give a damn that it's being racist, because you contribute to that when you get into this country. You become our black white oppressors. So I'm not crying over the fact that you're crying that you want to be over here, because when you get here, you do nothing but try to, not all, there are some exceptions that don't do the bullshiggity that's happening as a Pan-Africanist movement like the Narcan and Cobras. But as soon as you get yourself up by your bootstraps at our expense, as soon as you pull yourself up by the bootstraps at our expense, then you become like our black white oppressors. And then you get position over us and start calling us Akatas and all kind of names and telling us, looky me, look at what I did. Yeah, because you're not telling that you've been given our reparations to get into this country to do better than us, so that you migrate for money. 100,000 Cameroonian refugees. Wow. Well, family, just understand that more assaults will be coming, especially since we're making strides for reparations here in the state of California. You can trust and believe these white folks would rather us keep this caught up and do it in such a way that you can trust and believe that they like for us to continue to be at war with one another, which is why I cannot stand Narcan and Cobra, because they're setting us up with this race-based bullshit to have it be shot down in the courts, because you can't do anything based on race anymore in this country. We have to do it per the lineage, and they know this, and so they're saboteurs. And so white folks are very happy when we can't get shit done because of the saboteurs. They like this kind of infighting nonsense that's going on with Narcan and Cobra. They love us to be coming at each other's jugular so that nothing gets accomplished. And so just be prepared for the assaults to intensify. Okay? Don't be surprised if they don't bring in more blacks, like the KABAMMY style blacks, because they're seeking to replace us with them. They're on track because of their wealth position in the country our ancestors built with their lives, affords them a chance to have whole cohesive families with husband, wife, and children. So they're on track to outnumber us. Yes, 100,000 Cameroonians fleeing war in their country. I don't have any tears for black immigrants nor white ones. Listen, I'm all cried out over the freedmen that are being executed by the race soldiers with impunity. Ivy was raised in a 2-parent home also. Angela, I was watching a YouTube documentary from DW German TV about affluent Black Americans. According to their findings, 1 in 50 Black families are millionaires. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's in German? That's in Germany? I was watching a YouTube documentary from DW German TV about affluent Black Americans. 1 in 50 Black families are millionaires. Where? In this country? I don't think so. They need to have a freedman roll or census. Yes, Ivy, we are fighting to get that distinction, and we're close. The last census, if you saw, there was a blank to identify yourself as the type of Black you were. At the time, we were ADOS, the former ADOS movement. We referred to ourselves on that line as American descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. Well, no, American descendants of slavery is what it was. That's how we were identifying on that line that kept it open for you to share what type of Black you were. It was at that point, at the last census, that they were finally disaggregating Blackness there. Yes, the median is considered middle class, but it's a lie. It's a whole lie. In California, you've got to have money. Oh, yes, or you're homeless. What? Reggie has to go. He hates Black Americans in his shows. Quanave, you ain't ever lied. Yes, he's sitting up here trying to extend our study through 2024. To me, it's to drive and legislate more of us up out this piece so they don't have many of us to repair. Most whites came to the USA after the Civil War. They did not build this country. Correct, Ivy Dreams. What this country did, fam, as you already know, once we fought and won our emancipation, Sherman Order number 15 gave us 40 acres and a mule. And then Andrew Johnson took that away. And ultimately, I think it was, I can't remember which president gave white immigrants and white slaveholders reparations and the Homestead Act for 100 years. They did not build this country, and that's why Lincoln was trying to expatriate us back to Africa, okay? Thank you for hearing me, sis. Sure thing, fam. Y'all my co-host. I don't have calls, so I can get through more of your comments. I can't take as many phone calls. It's tough. Quanave says, it's tough. I don't think that I will ever marry a Black man, and I came to terms with it. Oh, Quanave. Oh. I hate hearing that, fam. I really do. Jay Smooth, I see you, fam. Sad, Black women suffer with or without dating Black men. I say be careful, be watchful. Wow. Well, like I said, divesting doesn't always end up well for us either. Let's see here. Divest doesn't always imply dating outside. It can mean not dating at all. Complete divestment, like men going their own way. MGTOW movement. Come again. I hear you, fam, but what happens to the Black lineage if we aren't loving each other and procreating with each other and marrying each other? What happens to the lineage? How will it keep going? That's my big concern. Quantive, I am for healthy interracial dating. Have you seen healthy interracial dating, Quantive? Have you seen healthy interracial dating? Have you talked to Black women in healthy interracial relations where they didn't have to lose a part of themselves and become white? That's what I'd be curious to know. Thank you. Yes. Oh, sweetheart, no worries with the misspelling. I understand. Vet everyone. I say still be open. Yes, Freedmen lineage matters, says Quantive. Title of the German documentary on YouTube, America's Black Upper Class, Rich, Successful, and Empowered. Ivy says, my husband is mixed. He is a good man. Yes. Well, I love that, Ivy, that he's mixed and he's a good man. I love that. I guess this is really all about the denigration of our Black men in that article. Because I'm sure that we've got some exceptions as we've shared here, but for them to denigrate an entire and write off an entire lineage of Black men, it's unconscionable to me, because I feel a lot of what this is more about is making sure our lineage doesn't continue. Listen, I'm happy for any and everyone that finds love, okay? But I do want us to stop this nonsense of the gender wars between freed men and women. I want us to understand that freedmen love matters. I want us to understand that we've got to stop buying into these narratives that there aren't any good freedmen out here. I want us to stop buying into this narrative that freed men don't love freed women. Okay? If there's only 20% of Black women married, the majority are married to Black men. Okay? I don't know what the true percentage is of Black women marrying outside the race, nor Black men, but I'm here to tell you that if we don't get this together, that article is wrong. Which one, sis? Oh, I think you're referring to the article, the New York Post. It's dreadful. It's dreadful because it's trying to assert that Black men, our freedmen in particular, are the problem. Because like I said, when you pull down the PDF of The Color of Wealth LA, you'll see by and large that Black immigrants can afford to marry, can afford to make babies, and can afford to give their families the best of everything. It is freed men, women, and children that are suffering in this country that our ancestors built with their lives. But I've always deduced that if I'm a great woman, then I can meet my polar opposite. My son is a good young man. I know he is, sweetheart. Yes, and this is what I need for us to understand. I need us to get back to freedmen love, because ultimately we are all we have, and ultimately it's going to take us to continue and extend the lineage. I don't want to see the whitening of the freedmen lineage, because we have bought into these stereotypes that our men are not worthy of the love of Black women, freed women in particular. I want us to continue to stay hopeful and do better by each other, and stop listening to Black and white folk alike tell us what's good for us as Black women. They don't give a damn. A lot of it's about, our wealth being transferred into whiteness, and you've got to see the grift for what it is. Our kids are both running track. We may need to make a match. Yes, my sweets. Yes, you know what, sis? I am not beyond arranging marriages, okay? I am not beyond it. I am not. So please, let's stay connected. The repperspect@gmail. All right. With that being said, family, I want to pray us out. Ooh, child. This was rough. That was rough for me to get through it, but I had to because I had too much to say about it. Hi, current comment. All right. Let me thank you for hearing me, sis. I found one that I wanted to land on. Freedmen lineage matters. Let's put up Ivy's mantra as I pray us out. I thank y'all for joining me. Like I said, this week I'm bringing you the Emmett Till Act, another rift. I'm bringing you about how we were sold by Africans, dispelling that myth. And there was one more. See if I don't write this stuff down. Now I got to go back and listen to the broadcast. I did it to myself. I should have actually took notes. There was one more that I wanted to bring you. It'll come to me. So stay tuned this week, and I'll crank out more content for you guys. Yay. All right, family. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever freedmen and its allies are, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. If no one's told you today, family, know that I love you black and I love you so strong, family. Yes, I do. Until we meet again on tomorrow, family, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening. And until we meet tomorrow, I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations. Yes, hunting. I'm out.